come along as I walk you through this DIY upholstered headboard for a client. Let's get started.
Lord, you love me bare and natural. You meet me where I am, still high on your throne. I look up to you in all I do. You're my
in this case, wanted softness, she wanted simplicity, and she wanted a classic look that would not compete with her bedding and the decisions that may come along the way with her bedding. And that decision alone shaped the entire design for this headboard, this DIY elegant upholstered headboard project. And this is where a lot of people get it wrong when they think about elegance or simplicity. Softness doesn't mean boring. Elegance definitely doesn't mean boring, and it definitely doesn't mean unfinished. For me, it simply adds up to creating a calmer feel in your space. If you watched the last video, I will add the card. I created elegance in your space on a budget with the framed art. So stick with me now in this video. This may be the one for you. If you wanted to create your very own DIY headboard, I'm going to show you just how easy it actually is. So once the direction was clear, shaping, look, paying close attention to the lines, height, as the width of the bed. She desires 60 inches in height at the peak of the bed. Now, due to the elegant feel that I wanted to go forward with a soft curve for the bed at the peak, something that was easy on the eyes again, just soft, elegant, and simplistic. Feminine. She chose a full-size bed, not because the room actually demanded it. She wanted to maintain openness throughout the space. Nothing too thick or overly padded. I took my measurements to the local hardware store and I had the board cut to size. Again, this is for a full-size bed. The width had to be 54 inches, which is normal for a full-size bed. And the height in this case, I wanted to go with 38. I'm going with the overall height of the entire bed is going to be 60 inches. That will be completed when I add the legs to the end of the project. And then I went to the drawing board to make a template, and that was definitely very much needed because I needed to trace the template onto the wood in order to get the actual shape of the bed that I was desiring for this project. Basic packing paper on a roll, and if you've seen the last video of the $2 basket DIY project, I'll link that as well. That was a good video, I have to say. I enjoyed that project. But I used the basic packing paper for this project, and I rolled it out to size. I rolled it at 54 inches, which is the width of the bed. Once I got the width of the paper, I measured it in half to get the peak of the arch, placed a tick mark there, and then folded the paper in half. So I measured it to the center point. I folded the paper in half, equal to the center with the arch. So once I had all of that done, then I traced it onto the actual board, the actual wood piece. Now remember, because this is wood, you will need power tools necessary for this project. You can use a manual staple to staple down the actual fabric, but I'm going to use my pneumatic stapler. So remember, when you do get your boards cut to size at your local hardware store, just a quick tip here and keep you in the know, they only cut lines, straight lines. They don't cut curves, arches, or specific custom. I definitely needed a jigsaw to cut the wood to fit the actual curves. Where you are cutting wood pieces out, remember, wood can splinter, little chips can fly, so keeping safety first at hand is a must. Wear protective eyewear. So after everything was cut, I moved to adding the foam onto the actual wood. I added the foam onto the actual board. I used a very thin layer of foam, the thinnest that they have, because again, I was preserving space, which was still the priority for this project. So nothing too thick here. I didn't want to go with a 2-inch size foam because that would have added extra bulk to the actual framing of the headboard. She just wanted to add a little softness to the space. So again, the goal here was softness without adding unnecessary weight or depth. So when it came time to attaching the actual foam, you can use a spray adhesive. That is an option. For me, I typically use hot glue on a medium setting. It's easy to maneuver around and manipulate if I need to adjust it. Once the foam is actually positioned onto the wood and laid out smoothly, I can go to cutting. I use my meat cutter. I've had it for years. With any upholstery projects that I use a meat cutter. It is excellent. Instead of scissors or a knife, it gives you a very clean, easy cut, as you can see here in the video what it's doing. Now, due to the foam already being 38 inches, which the actual board I had cut, remember, was 54 by 38, that was perfect for me with the foam. So I didn't have to worry about the height of the foam. Paid attention to was cutting out the actual curved portion at the top of the foam, which was an easy do, again, with the carving knife. I said meat cutter is a carving knife, but you get the point. I then moved on to adding the fabric. I first applied a layer of batting to create a smoother, more refined surface, followed by the fabric itself. For this step, I used a pneumatic stapler along with my Fortress air compressor, which I definitely truly appreciate because it runs so quietly. I began by placing a single staple at the top, the bottom, and both sides. This helps to hold everything in position while I continue to staple. From there, I worked my way all the way around the entire headboard, pulling the fabric evenly, but again, not too tight, because what happens is over tensioning the fabric causes the edges to pull inward, which creates indentations or a slightly rolled look along the top and the sides. The goal here is a smooth, tailored finish that will lie flat and full without that pinched appearance that you would get that happens when the fabric is stretched a little too aggressively. So be careful with this step if you're going to try a project such as this. So for this portion, she wanted her headboard to stand at least 60 inches in height. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and I put the tape measure here, which is right at the 60. But the legs, of course, are not going to be 60 inches tall. I am only going to bring the legs I'm going to cut the legs at 40 inches so that they will come all the way up the board. But then they have to land here at 21 3/4. So I'm going to cut the boards at 40, cut, and then when I nail them down, they will be nailed down at, this is the same board that I am using for the actual legs. Doesn't have to be anything substantial. It'll sit up against the wall. As I've mentioned before in previous videos, your best friend should always be present, and that's your measuring tape. For this step, I used a miter box, and one day I'll upgrade or be blessed with a miter saw and a table saw. But for now, this works perfectly well since the wood isn't exceptionally thick. The key here is precision. Measure twice, cut once. Bits to pre-drill the holes in the pine slats because pine is very soft wood and it can splinter easily. So taking this extra step helps to prevent the cracking and ensures a more clean, more controlled installation for the screws. And you do a project like this and you do get the wrinkles after the project is done, after all of the pulling, tucking, tugging, and stapling. Take you a 2-ply fabric. What I mean by 2-ply, at least 2 pieces of fabric sandwiched together, because you want to make sure that if there's any water from the iron or from your steamer happens to get on it, you definitely don't want to leave water spots, especially when you're working with linen type fabrics. That can happen. Removing the water spot can be quite the task because they typically will leave water stains, which will require you to go ahead and try to clean the entire piece. This is a quick and easy tip. You're going to take you a pillowcase You're going to take your iron or your steamer and you're just going to go over it while pressing the steam. And you don't have to worry about the steam water going through the fabric because you've made it 2-ply, you know, like toilet paper 2-ply. So you're going to do a couple of passes, and once you take it down, as you can see, I'm going to move it over, the wrinkle is all gone. So thank you all for joining me on today for this video, and just showing you the process, bringing you along with me on some of the projects that I do. I told you I'm always doing something behind the scenes, and I don't always share everything, but hey, like they say, everything is content. Well, not really, everything is not content, but on today, this is definitely content. So I decided to pick up the camera and bring you all along. If you're ever in the market and you want to do a project such as this is a great video to go back and replay and start again and do you a project such as this. Always stay inspired, motivated, and moving, creating something beautiful, if not for yourself, and definitely for someone else. This has been Chanel, and I'll see you all for the next one. Don't forget to like, comment, and definitely hit that subscribe button. It's absolutely free, and I'll see you all for the next one. Bye for now.